Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. Thank you guys all so much for being here, your continued love and support here on the channel. For those of you that would like to join channel memberships, I also have that available for those of you that are wanting extra content, and that is for exclusive members only pick a cards. I do recommend, if you are wanting to join specifically for access to those members only videos, that you make sure that you join the second level tier, which for this channel it is Starborn. If you click join and you're only seeing only one option available as far as tiers, please make sure that you are logging into YouTube on a desktop or laptop and using the desktop version of YouTube. You may not be able to see the options that you have available on the mobile version of YouTube or on the YouTube app. Some of the functionality is different, okay? So make sure that you're using a laptop or desktop for that. I'm also available for private readings. You can find my email in the description box. Just send me an email and I will send you more information on booking readings as well as other services with me. So today's pick a card reading was actually suggested by a channel member, and it is what needs changing in order to move forward more easily. So just kind of looking at what changes you need to make in your life in order to help you to move forward on your path or whatever direction you're trying to go in with a project or, life in general. Okay, so what needs changing? We are going to do 3 groups today, and you can you can choose based off of the card, the crystal, using your intuition. If you feel drawn to more than one of the groups, that is perfectly okay for today's reading. So what needs changing? Let's pull something for group 1, and then we're going to add on some crystals to help you make your choices. So what needs changing in order to move forward more easily? Let's pull something for group 1. What needs changing? What needs changing for group 2? What needs changing? Let's see. What needs changing for group 3 in order to move forward? Group 3. Okay, so let's see what we have, and then we'll add our crystals on. So pile 1, we have card number 18, the Siren. And I think we're going to do, and I think this is like a pink or fuchsia colored. It actually looks like it was dyed. Like it was dyed this color. Like it's not its natural color. But we have this fuchsia crystal here, and we're going to pair that with this Siren card for group 1. Okay, so let's see what's going on with group 2. We do have card number 16, the Shaman. And I think I'm going to pair that. Let's pair it with this little Carnelian here. So card number 16, the Shaman, with this Carnelian heart. Okay, that is group 2. And then group 3, we have, what is this, 64, the Offering. And let's do this Bloodstone. This one might be a little bit harder to see. So we have Bloodstone, card number 64, the Offering. Okay. I think I'm going to make it a little bit brighter in here with the lighting. Oops, that's the wrong way. The wrong way. Okay, so we're a little bit brighter there. Okay, so these are the choices. We've got the Siren with the little fuchsia crystal here. For pile 2 or group 2, we have the Shaman with the Carnelian heart. And then for group 3, we have the offering with the Bloodstone crystal. Timestamps will be down below for you guys, and I will see you at your reading. Hi, group 1. So those of you that resonated with the Siren card and this fuchsia crystal, this is going to be your reading today. So I actually think I want to start off with the message of the Siren. I'm using, I don't have the box, do I? I'm using the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck for this first part of your reading. So I feel that the message with the Siren is going to be helpful for this pile. So this is card, what is that? 18. That is the book. Okay, so we have the Temptress, the Seducer, the Femme Fatale. It says, the Siren calls and the world spins. What we thought we wanted pales in comparison to the sweet allure of her song. We find ourselves lost in a spell of desire and longing, perhaps even lust. Whether the thing calling to us is ultimately good or bad is somewhat irrelevant. It's the journey that matters, and the work of the Siren is to take us on a deep psychic descent. Following her song, we go down, 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 to a place where lessons are learned and courage must be rallied to find our way back to dry land. Try as we might, resisting the call may not even be an option, unless, like Odysseus, we bind our hands to the mast of our ship. It's likely, though, that falling for her call is the only way we will come to live more fully on the surface. So let's pull some tarot here and see where Spirit is kind of taking this for you. So I'm sure, you know, many of you have heard stories, fairy tales and stuff like that, or even books that you've read where, you know, they have stories about sailors who are, you know, all on a ship, and then there is a siren or mermaid that is kind of tempting the sailors on a certain journey, and that ultimately leading to their demise. So this card is, you know, saying that that call of the siren that we might have could be something that leads us to something that is, you know, good or bad, but that whole aspect of it is irrelevant. It's more or less about the journey that we're on and what we learn through whatever that path is. Because even if it is a bad thing, right, that we find out later that we're kind of journeying to, maybe unexpected, right? It kind of, when we're called towards something or someone or a situation, and it kind of, on the surface, it kind of appears that it's a good idea or it's a good thing. And then we might find out a little bit later, like, oh my goodness, what did I do? What did I get myself into? Either way, whether good or bad, we're still going to learn from it. We still gain the experience from what we've done, what we've gone through. And so we're asking Spirit today, what needs changing in order to move forward more easily? And for some of you with this siren type of energy, it may even be that we have to use more discernment, because sometimes, let's just say, certain desires that we have can take us off of our path, can distract us in a way. And we can even look at it in a way that if we are kind of led down a path that doesn't feel right, and discovering that sometimes when it's too late, that we can certainly learn, right, from that experience. But we can also learn to be more discerning and how to pay closer attention to what our intuition is saying versus, say, what our fear and our ego could be saying to us. So let's pull some tarot and see what's going on. What needs changing in order to move forward more easily? And this room that I'm in, my little tarot room here, is really cold. So you might see me just kind of putting my hands together to try to warm them up. I might turn the heater back on. Okay, so what needs changing in order to move forward? Group 1. What needs changing? 9 of Swords, look at that. That is anxiety, worrying, stressing, overthinking, overanalyzing. We have the Hierophant, Taurus energy, Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have the 7 of Wands. I'm going to move this down a little bit. Okay. 2 of Pentacles, which can also represent change here, but it's also balance. Okay, I think I see what's happening here. What needs changing? Five of Swords in reverse. Okay. 3 of Cups. Judgment. Knight of Pentacles. We've got Scorpio energy here. And then also Virgo, Capricorn. Ace of Wands. Queen of Pentacles. Can I fit one more in here? For group 1. I'm going to take that in reverse. So now we have both Queen and King here. I'm surprised the 2 of Swords isn't here. Okay, so what needs changing in order to move forward more easily? I'm noticing the first thing that's like super stand out to me, well, actually 2 cards, the 9 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. Because the 9 of Swords, like I said, it's about a lot of overthinking, overanalyzing, mental anguish, okay? And the 7 of Wands, which I love the way that it's depicted in this card, because the 7 of Wands can talk about boundaries. It can be about facing challenge and adversity, perseverance. The wand suit in the tarot have to do with spiritual energy, passion, creativity, action that we're taking. And if you notice the way that she's kind of sitting on that little pad there, like she's meditating, she's in a bubble. And she's kind of like, it looks like her solar plexus there. There's like a little yellow light there. And she's turned away from those wands. So in one way, I kind of see this where she is kind of blocking out, in a sense, certain energies and maintaining her sense of groundedness and power. And the 2 of Pentacles is about making choices. It's also about balancing. And so what I'm kind of getting here, because I'm also noticing we have the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups can talk about a group of people, friends, people that are surrounding you. And so this, because we have the energy of the Siren here, I feel like this is both internal and external for you in terms of words, actions, any type of energy that is being directed towards you from other people, friends, family members, co-workers, partners, people that you live with, anybody, okay? And then also the inner dialogue, because we also have the Five of Swords here in reverse, which is a good thing. We like that. Because the Five of Swords can also talk about self-sabotaging thoughts. So we've got self-sabotaging thoughts, lots of mental anguish, anxiety, nightmares, worrying, stressing, overthinking, overanalyzing. And being that we have both the Queen and the King of Swords here present, but they're kind of like they're misaligned with each other. So I feel that, and the reason why is because I feel like we've got, Nine of Swords, Five of Swords energy here. The Five of Swords can also talk about even the words of other people putting us down, criticizing, being judgy. If you have people that are not supportive around you, you could be on a certain path doing your thing, and then all of a sudden you open up and you tell a parent, you tell a sibling, you tell a coworker, you tell a friend, and then they don't have anything nice to say, or they throw in their own opinions, and and especially if you are someone who's an overthinker, which I am too, I get it. Sometimes you might focus on that negative thing that person said and kind of replay it in your mind over and over and over again. Ruminating on something. And it makes it a lot worse, right, in our mind than like we're putting too much energy there, right, to focus on that negative thing or that opinion of another person instead of, what's happening here, I feel like, is that it's taking away from your mental clarity so that you are able to stay focused on what your vision is. Because we need to be in a clear head space, right, in order for us to make the best decisions possible, in order for us to have clear thinking, decisions, and be in the right frame of mind to function, to be able to solve problems, to look at information or details or specifics of something and be able to kind of sort through all of that and find the nitty-gritty of what it is that we need in order for us to move forward, right? So I feel like what needs changing is the ways in which we think, process the information. And for some of you, this could be learning to set energetic boundaries with certain people, with their opinions, with their judgments, and even focusing on what the inner voice is saying and how that can be something that can completely throw us off, where we end up hesitating, procrastinating, second guessing ourselves, and we're having difficulties with facing the challenge. And sometimes even if we are met, because we're here on earth, right? There's always going to be something that happens in life. Things that are outside of our control, kind of, I was just talking to my husband about this yesterday, actually, because Sometimes life will be all smooth sailing, you know, where everything's coming in order, everything's fine, everything's good, and then all of a sudden life hands you a whole bunch of stuff that you have to kind of work through, and navigate through. And that, you know, I've been kind of going through a bunch of stuff, family stuff, that, you know, or needing to just kind of be there for each other through all of this. But everybody's got stuff that they're dealing with. And our ability to be able to maintain our sense of balance sometimes, or groundedness and focus and clarity, can sometimes be very challenging. So this may also be, it can put us in a place where we do, when we are met with adversity, that instead of keeping, which it takes practice to do this, okay? It takes many times of practicing, mastering this skill. Because when we are faced with challenge and adversity in our life, sometimes we might automatically start the whole just downward spiral of negative thinking, you know, just worrying and stressing, and just like, oh my goodness, I feel so defeated right now. I'm never going to be able to get out of this. How am I going to fix this? And we start kind of going down that rabbit hole, right, of the siren, where it's just kind of leading us into that. So changing the way in which we confront whatever challenge or adversity we might be facing in our life. Because we have a choice, right? We can choose to revert back into all the negative downward spiral of taking us low, or we can say, okay, and thinking about it, right, logically, okay, this is what the facts of the situation are. And like I said, this is not easy, because it takes practice for us to learn this new way of being able to process life, and to be able to not let every single thing that happens to us in life be something that completely derails us and takes us down. So I feel like what can change here is the way in which, when we are presented with a challenge, with some type of adversity that we're facing in life, no matter what it is, a family situation, something going on with the car, something happening with, you know, a neighbor, or, you know, anything that's kind of happening here, that we have a better way of being able to keep our mind in a clear space. And that sometimes that might include setting a boundary with someone, or to not let ourselves go down that road of all the negative thinking, or letting what this person's opinion or judgment of us is, where they feel like they know best, or family member knows best, or because sometimes the Five of Swords can be bullying, right? You might have people that are not supportive. And so this could also be surrounding yourself with better friends, better people, better energy, that are going to not present so much of that energy in your life. And we can't always do that, right? We can, sometimes there are certain family members that just get under our skin, or just kind of always have something to say that is negative. So again, this is where we kind of observe and not absorb the energy, especially when it's outside, right, of us. You can also observe your thoughts. Where is my mind going right now? Where is this siren energy of all this negativity kind of sucking me down into that? So we can work on changing that, right? Changing the way in which we think, we act, we speak, our inner voice. And also, because the Queen of Swords also has boundaries. The Queen of Swords is also, and the King of Swords too, also good with being assertive, with speaking clearly, thinking clearly. This is about us using our voice, standing in our power. Both of these energies have power and authority, right? And so this could be you continuing to step into your power, learning to use your voice, learning to put into words what you're trying to say, right? Clearly, with people, or anybody who you might have in your life. We also have the Knight of Pentacles energy here, which is about commitment, dedication, slow and steady movement. It is about moving forward, right? Helping us to move forward. So if we do, right, want to change something in order to help us to move forward, again, we have to be in that clear head space to be able to think clearly, make decisions that we need to, take the action, and really kind of be in a better place, feeling more grounded. We also have the Hierophant present, and the Hierophant is about our beliefs, our values, our morals. It's also about wisdom and education and higher knowledge, accessing that higher knowledge. So we can also look at and understand where, let's just say, where is this anxiety getting me? Where is this overthinking getting me? Is it helping me to move, to progress and to move forward? How is this person's energy affecting me? Am I letting it affect me? So we can then observe, right? Again, the people that are surrounding us, learn to set better boundaries, learn to protect your energy, so that we are able to keep ourselves grounded, keep ourselves focused, dedicated, and committed to taking the steps that we need to in order for us to move forward. So we also have Judgment here. And Judgment is about answering the call of our soul. It's about releasing, letting things go. And here, if you look at this woman here, it kind of looks like she's like her soul is free. Okay. The Judgment card can also talk about death and rebirth and, letting things go that are kind of in a way weighing us down, holding us down. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands here, which is about creativity, inspiration, the creative spark. We might feel inspired to do something, but then we might kind of set in with the negative thoughts, the negative thinking, or certain beliefs that we have that should also maybe be looked at, that could be limiting, that could be holding back. We could be allowing a friend who said something mean to weigh in on how we feel about ourselves or the decisions and choices that we make, and things of that nature. So I feel like I said, a lot of this might have to do with the mental, okay? Better boundaries, learning how to protect your energy, learning how to be assertive, learning how to say no, learning how to speak your truth, learning how to live in your truth. But also kind of taking a look at the inner dialogue. Okay, observing it. Why am I thinking like this? Where is this coming from? Why am I stressing out right now? And that could certainly be looking back to certain situations that you've gone through in the past. Because with Judgment, we release the things that we're no longer needing. Okay, we're holding on to the wisdom, the knowledge that we're carrying with us moving forward. We can then integrate what we've learned from past experiences to say, okay, this is what happened in the past when I let fear be my guide, or when I listened to what the people were saying. So where we can then integrate that knowledge of what happened to us before, right? What we went through in that past experience, and use that moving forward. Okay, just like this card is saying, though, at the very beginning, that sometimes we do get led down a certain path, or we are guided to maybe a certain person or a situation, and whether or not it's a good or bad situation is irrelevant, because either way, we're learning. We've got experience here, which is that Hierophant. We're able to grow, we're able to evolve. The important thing is that when we are going through the experiences in life and growing and transforming, that we not only take some time to think about the past experience and how it's, what we went through, but we also integrate what we've learned so that we can be that much sharper, that much clearer moving forward. Because it's one thing to kind of go through an experience and then you go through it again and again and again, and we don't learn. We don't take the time to really kind of sit with that experience that we've gone through, right? Deep into the psyche, and say, okay, what did I gain from this? What have I learned from this? What knowledge can I put into my spiritual toolbox to use moving forward, so that when I am faced with making a change that I need to in my life, I can approach it in this way that is going to help me to achieve the results that I desire. Okay, this is also you committing yourself to maybe a routine for some of you with the Knight of Pentacles here, Queen of Pentacles. This requires dedication. It requires commitment. It requires discipline. You know, this could be sometimes if we feel like, okay, I'm not disciplined, I can't stay focused, right? This is coming up with a routine for yourself so that you are able to keep yourself accountable, right? With taking the steps that you need to, so that you can see the change in your life and it's moving forward in the direction that you're going to be happy with, right? This is where you have control here to kind of look at the information that we have, what's available to us, and what can we do with it. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's pull some oracle here and see if we can get anything else from Spirit. What needs changing? Perhaps, like I said, it could be certain beliefs that we have to look at, because this Five of Swords is going to go into the 5, which is the Hierophant. You know, if we are, let's just say we are with the 9 of Swords, because that connects back to the Hermit. The Hermit is about isolation, solitude. Sometimes we do need to kind of take a step away from people so we can think clearly and protect our energy, because we're allowing everyone else's noise, including our own sometimes, right? To get in the way so that we can't think. I can't think clearly. But sometimes it is the need for us to kind of taking a look at certain beliefs that we have, that we've been carrying with us because of something someone said, or because we were raised in a certain culture, a certain religion, with a certain belief system. Because the Hierophant is about things that have been passed down, right? From generation to generation. So let's just say if, you know, parents or grandparents have a certain way of thinking or believing, and when we were raised by them, we kind of have and carry those beliefs too. But we have to be able to think for ourselves and say, okay, does this fit? Do I resonate with this? Or can I, you know, open myself up to a new belief system, and releasing those belief systems that no longer serve. So what needs changing in order to move forward more easily? We have communication, okay? Now, again, this is going to be that communication. I'm kind of seeing it as inner and outer, okay? We have nature. Look at fear. Let's get one more. Abundance. So we want to keep ourselves open, right, to receive with the abundance here. I will say, some of you that fear is something that kind of blocks you or guides you towards certain things, right, that are, you might feel, or okay, this isn't really what I want, but my fear is telling me, no, don't do that, do this instead, because this feels safe. I would say during those times when we start into that fear-based thinking, or even a thing a person says to you, right, can kind of invoke fear and self-doubt. With the nature card here, perhaps some of you could take some time to ground yourself, okay, during those times. Kind of getting better at bringing your energy back into alignment, back into balance. Because certainly being around certain people or certain environments can throw our energy off, right? Mentally, emotionally sometimes. But it looks like a lot of the mental energy is here that's coming through, or even spiritual energy here. So this is getting better at learning how to kind of navigate through certain thoughts or certain communication that could be being received from others. So again, I'm going to say observe, don't absorb. You're just kind of watching. How is this person communicating right now? Are they projecting onto me? Are they projecting negativity? Do they have an insecurity and they're projecting that insecurity on me? Like, especially if you tell someone, hey, I'm gonna open a business, and then that person, it could be a person who's, say, like really insecure or who has low self-esteem, and all they have to say is negative. And is it more or less that they have an opinion about that you're not going to be able to do it? Or does that reflect more or less on that other person who is too afraid of being in their, of living and functioning in their power, reclaiming their power, where they cannot be a positive support system that you need? Okay. So I would say with nature being here, this is spending more time in nature, especially if we're feeling a little off, a little out of balance. This is you learning to change the way in which you protect your energy, the way that you channel your energy, the way that you kind of hold your energy steady and grounded. And sometimes that is spending more time in nature to help us to feel grounded. That is going for a walk. That is sitting outside in the backyard. If you live in a busy city, sometimes that might not always be easy to do. What I would recommend to you, especially if you live far away from, like, the forest and the ocean and the lakes and like nature that you could be in, create a little space in your home. A little sanctuary where you can put plants or flowers and surround yourself in that little space where that is where you go to kind of recenter and have just a few moments for just calm, grounded energy. Remove yourself, right? Sometimes we have to move away from someone or get away from someone if they've just got all kinds of energy that we're just like, no, I don't want all of this right now. Okay. It can also sometimes be when we're in situations where we can't just walk away, like let's just say you're at work, right? And you've got of course you can quit your job, right? Leave the work environment, but sometimes we have to be around certain people, because it's a family member we've got something going on with them, right? In those instances where you can't, you've got to be there, you've got to be present. And there's a certain person who's throwing a bunch of just negative energy around. Again, this is where we kind of observe what's going on, what they're saying, what they're communicating. We're not absorbing and kind of taking in, right, all of that. We're just kind of paying attention, like, what are they saying right now? Of course, there certain things that people say can elicit some type of emotional response from us sometimes. And I'm not saying that you have to completely block out all your feelings and your emotions, because certain things that are said can be triggering, right? But what you can do is observing yourself, like, how is what this person is saying to me right now, or what is going on in my life right now? What is it triggering within me? Is it triggering fear? Is it triggering self-sabotaging thoughts, anxiety? Why? Right? This is where we really kind of take some time to understand our own energy and even the fluctuations, right? The ups and downs that we kind of go through every day in life. So it's learning how to navigate, right? Is kind of what is changing here for you, so that you can continue that even in those times when there's all kinds of energy coming at you externally, or things are kind of happening internally, that you can bring yourself back to center, bring yourself back to grounded, which is kind of like reclaiming the power of the mind, right? Your mental energy. You're in control. You maintain control of your vessel. Versus handing the power away to fear, handing the power away to self-sabotaging thoughts or anxiety, you know, the overthinking, the overanalyzing. So this is you changing in terms of the way in which you receive energy, give out energy, protect your energy, so that no matter what is going on, and the way that Spirit is kind of showing to me is like, imagine that you are on a, kind of reminds me of King of Cups energy, imagining that you are on a boat, right? Imagining you're on a boat and the sails are blowing, there's a huge storm, right? But even with that you are still standing solid in the middle of that boat. Amidst everything, all the chaos is kind of happening around you, and you are still unbothered. You are the captain, right? You are the captain of your ship, and there is not a thing going on around you, right, that is going to throw you off balance. Okay? So it's you learning how to maintain, keep, stay, or even bring yourself back to grounded. Okay? And for some, you know, we're, because this is kind of making me think of your nervous system. You know, sometimes for people, especially that have gone through certain types of trauma, you know, the nervous system might be doing some crazy things. So that, again, nature is going to be helpful for that. Taking walks, spending time, taking a break, resting, grounding yourself, which can be through meditation. It can be through chanting, singing, dancing, sitting, like I said, sitting outside, going for a walk, running, exercising. All of these things are going to help you to kind of like rebalance your energy. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for you, group 1. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, group 2. So those of you that resonate with the Shaman card, number 16, and this little Carnelian heart, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out what needs changing in order to move forward more easily, which was a suggestion by a channel member. So I want to start off with a message with this card. This is from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. So we're going to read this message here just to kind of set the tone for your reading, and that is 16. Okay, so the shaman says the magi, the sorcerer, the medicine woman. It says 3 archetypal ingredients constitute the shaman, and all must be present in order to reveal its magic. First, the shaman is activated by long-standing and diligent study, the mentor. Second, its orientation is generously and accurately aimed towards the healing of the self, the other, and the culture, which is known as the healer. And third, the shaman has a knack for finding doorways to the other world, allowing psychic visions and old magic to leak into this world, the unseen. In this way, the shaman is a master who bridges the everyday and the sacred, revealing potent power needed desperately in our time. Yet where there is power, there is shadow. So the shaman must be vigilant in studying their darkness. This card reminds us that the force of healing is ultimately not our own. We must shape it and share it with the world. Okay, so let's kind of see where Spirit is going with this for you. What needs changing in order to move forward more easily? Let's pull some tarot here. What needs changing in order to move forward? The Hermit. We have Virgo energy. We have the Page of Cups. What needs changing? The Hanged Man. Huh. Okay. I've got some things that are coming to me, but I want to see what the rest of the cards say. Knight of Wands. The King of Wands. What needs changing in order to move forward more easily? I do notice, you know, in this Hermit card here, how the person is kind of sitting in the dark with a little lantern. We have the Seven of Wands, Justice. So we've also got Pisces energy here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Libra. What needs changing in order to move forward? Knight of Pentacles, what needs changing? The Four of Wands and the Fool. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so the Hanged Man is here, which the Hanged Man card is about a change in perspective. And this energy can be sometimes about us taking a pause. It's also about surrender. And I'm noticing, like I said, that we have the Hermit card here, where the Hermit is in the dark, sitting in the dark, and there is a lantern on the side there. And I feel that this is important because the Hermit is about introspection and deep reflection, really getting connected to our innermost self. Because both of these energies here would more or less be like your non-action. The Hangman, because it is an energy where literally there's a person just hanging, right? Nothing's going on here in terms of any action happening. The Hangman is also where we receive insight, enlightenment, because we're able to kind of take a step back and withdraw from trying to do or think or act, and just pause for a moment. Because maybe the way in which we're trying to move forward or to do something is not getting us the results that we want. So the Hermit is also an energy of withdrawing, right? Sometimes from the outside world, and for us to get reconnected with the self so that we can kind of get reconnected to our inner navigation. Where is our soul guiding us or taking us or leading us, or what action do we really want to take here? This is where we kind of just take that time. Also we have the shaman here, which is also about the darkness, moving into the darkness and understanding it. And what does that darkness mean for us? Like if we are in the dark about something, right? We're trying to figure something out. Like, why won't this work? I'm trying to move forward here in my life. Why am I being met with a struggle? Why am I being met with a challenge here? And then the other major arcanas that you have here are the Fool and also the Justice card. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith. It is about trusting, having trust, because we're releasing fear, right? She's just kind of like, she's gonna like go right into this pool of water here, holding her amethyst in one hand and her wand in the other, which I feel like also kind of shows that energy of just kind of like letting it all go and just saying, okay, here I go. I'm kind of moving into this energy here. The Justice card is about making a decision. And sometimes this is for you, pile 2. This is going to be, maybe it's an important decision that you have in your life. And when we cannot figure something out, like, what do I need to do? What do I need to change in order for me to just get through this or to go down this path? The Justice card is about us weighing something out. This is kind of weighing logic and, what our heart or intuition is saying. And sometimes we feel stuck, because the Hangman can sometimes be about indecision. And sometimes that can lead to stagnancy in our life where we're not, because again, these cards are non-action here. So the Fool is about taking that leap of faith. So if we do feel stuck, right, and we're thinking, oh, I've been sitting here, I've been trying to figure this out, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to change, what I'm supposed to decide. Sometimes we need to sit and honor the stillness, the quiet, and understand that even that pause where we might be in the dark about something is something that is useful, right? Because just like with this shaman energy here, it takes all of those components, right, that it was talking about in order for us to be able to navigate through something and find something. So even in the stillness, even in the dark, can that be something that is useful for us in order for us to move forward? Okay, we might be thinking like, why is something not progressing? Why is it not moving forward? And I want to say more so for the things that aren't having to do with like other people, okay? More so the things, and the topic of this reading is more so the things that have to do with you. Like, I'm trying to move it ahead in my career, or I'm trying to, find out what's next on my career path, or, the things that you're in control of, not so much, things that are outside of you. Like, let's just say a relationship type of situation where there's another person that's involved and resistance coming from their side. Like, that's a whole other topic and video that I'd probably put on the other channel. But I feel like it's important for you to kind of take some time and to honor that stillness, because sometimes it does take us taking a step back and withdrawing our energy from something, kind of like the pause before action. Because even in that Hermit energy, the Hermit is the 9th card in the major arcana. And the Fool is where it all starts, card 0. And then we move from the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Lovers, the Chariot, the Strength card, and then we get to the Hermit, right? the major arcana, or all of those major spiritual things, milestones, I guess you could call it, that we're going through. And the Hermit is where we kind of take a pause because of all those other journeys, right? With those lessons that we've gone through. And we come to that point with the Hermit energy where we take a time to pause and stop and to think about where we're journeying to, what we desire. Sometimes the Hermit energy can be when we feel lost. And that can be an important time for us to get reconnected in with our innermost self. Okay? We have the Page of Cups sitting right there in the middle between the Hermit and the Hanged Man. So not only do I feel like what needs changing is perspective, okay? There's also sometimes a need for surrender, meaning letting go. Okay, needing to let go of the need to try to force or control something. But with the Page of Cups energy here, you know, for some of you, this might be that there is a need to get reconnected in with our feelings, our emotions, our intuition. Some of you, this might even be, and I don't feel like this is all of you, but some of you, it might even be the healing of the inner child. Okay, healing of the inner child. Because the Hermit can sometimes be when we are going through a dark night of the soul and we're feeling lost and we're feeling disconnected and we don't know where we're going, what we're doing. So we kind of need to spend that time in solitude, in self-reflection, to help us before we take that next step in life, that new path. You know, sometimes when we've been very busy, right, doing a lot of things and working on a lot of things, I like to think about life and the way that we navigate it through, and I feel like many people have described it this way, as kind of going through seasons, or even relating it to the moon, the cycles of the moon, the way in which the seasons change, that we too, as we navigate through life, also have to honor all of those seasons. And to understand that there will be times in our life that we will spend kind of like, and for those of you that are in the Northern Hemisphere, like the season of winter, where everything is frozen, everything is still, it's quiet, it's calm, and there's nothing happening, right? And then we move into spring, where there are new seeds being planted. Okay, and then the summer, where we start to begin to see those seeds, preparing for the harvest, right? That's going to take place in the fall. So it's kind of like you, maybe perhaps changing knowing when to act and knowing when to be still. And sometimes when we're still, we don't like it. We don't like it because we're like, why is nothing happening? How come this isn't changing? How come this isn't progressing? How come this isn't moving forward? Why do I feel like this right now? And sometimes there very well is action that we do need to take, right? The King of Wands is here, which is about forging a new path. It's about being confident. The Knight of Wands is about, well, both of them can be about passion, creativity, motivation, drive, with persevering, right? Keep going, keep moving through something. And so some of you, this could be, like I said, knowing when to pause, knowing when to take action. Now, sometimes with the Hermit energy and the Hanged Man, we could stay in this energy too long, where we end up getting to a place where we really are stagnant in life. And that might mean that we have to do something different. That might mean that we have to take a step outside of our comfort zone in order to change or shift the energy for us to move forward. And I feel like what's an important piece here with that Page of Cups is getting connected to your inner child, because your inner child has, especially with the Page of Cups, the inner child has a wild imagination. Your inner child has so much belief, okay? And I'm talking about that version of the inner child because, of course, some of us with our inner child, there might be a wounded inner child there. There could be inner child that has gone through trauma. And what I mean by getting connected into that aspect of the inner child is that version of you before, you may have gone through certain experiences that may have altered the perception of the inner child. So we're talking about that innocent version of the inner child that is full of potential, that is full of imagination, of dreams and visions and creativity. Sometimes it requires us to get connected back into that aspect of ourself because that inner child or that version of our inner child is very close to the higher self. And when we can connect to that aspect of ourself is where we connect to that part that believes that they can do it, that you can do anything that you set your mind to, that has different ways of being able to figure something out, right? Because when you talk to a child, right, they've got a wild imagination. They think of all these things that, without the adult self who has now limiting beliefs, maybe fear-based thinking, low self-esteem, insecurities, the inner child is confident. The inner child is brave. The inner child is creative, is inspired, and has that imagination and belief in the self that, that we can connect into to help us to move forward in life in different ways, right? And so I feel with the Queen of Pentacles energy here, this is about nurturing something. So I feel like whatever it is that you feel drawn to create or to pursue, the Knight of Wands energy is very passionate. It feels like very excited, right? To do something. It's like this burst of energy that and motivation that we feel, the drive, the inner force of energy that kind of gives us kind of like that push that we need. And sometimes that might require us to take some time to kind of build up that energy, right? Or if we're feeling like your motivation is gone, or the drive is not there, like we might procrastinate, we might hesitate, we might think, okay, yes, I want to do this, but I don't have the energy to. Sometimes it is appropriate for us to pause, because sometimes we have to, like I said, remembering that life also, we go through our own seasons, right? Of creating, of planting seeds, of harvesting, and of stillness. The same thing, right? In the way that nature teaches and shows us that even, nature takes a break, right? Nature takes a break. The moon waxes and wanes and goes through its own cycles. Okay? So I feel like it's important for you to honor, and change our perspective during those times where stillness, the darkness, is teaching us something. Because it offers us time for reflection. So we can choose the way we look at the pauses, and when something is still, because perhaps there's something that we're needing to look at. Perhaps we're needing to pause and check in with the self so that we can then say, okay, I've withdrawn from whatever this is that I'm wanting to move forward with, and now I have an even better idea. Now I feel this energy building within inside of me, and now I'm ready to go. Now I'm ready to move forward. Okay. And like I said, for some of you, it might be quite the opposite, where you've been in that stagnant energy for so long and you kind of feel like, I'm not getting ahead. I'm not progressing. I'm not moving forward in the way that I really want to. And so this may be a little different for you. This might be really trying to focus on being more disciplined, right? Because with the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles energy here, this does require us to take steps towards the goal that we have and to keep ourselves accountable and understand that if we want to persevere, if we want to move forward, that sometimes we have to really stand in our power and push past certain challenges and obstacles. Sometimes we could be perceiving something as an obstacle that is presented on our path, because even with the things that we desire, even with things that are perfectly meant for us, it's not always an easy road to get there. Sometimes this means that we do have to make some sacrifices, and we have to, move and find a way to overcome an obstacle. Just because there's an obstacle on our path doesn't mean that that's not for us. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't keep going, right? Because the Queen of Pentacles is about stability and security. And this also kind of makes me think of like the King of Pentacles energy too, as a very abundant energy, right? And when you think about anybody who is successful and you ask them, what did you do? How did you do it? How many times, if that person is honest with you, will they tell you that they tried many times? They may have fallen down many times. They may have failed. They may have tried to, work things kind of like in a different way in order for them to move past and overcome the adversity that they were facing. So sometimes, like I said, we could be perceiving something as an obstacle or a challenge, and we might feel like, okay, there's an obstacle. I guess that means I should just give up, or I guess that means that it's not meant for me, or that I should just stop. Right? So for you, the change that might need to happen could be the way that you're looking at it, the way that you're thinking about it, the perspective. And for some of you, it might mean releasing fear, letting go of fear, being more disciplined. And you can start with learning because of course, discipline is something that's not easy for everybody. If we have a goal, that we're like, let's just say the goal is losing weight. We're trying to be in better health and we're trying to work on our body and our physical fitness. Discipline, right? with eating healthy and going to the gym and getting the workout in, it requires consistency, right? In order for us to see results, it requires us to pay attention to what we're putting into our body. And it can be a lot of effort. And not everybody, is able to kind of keep themselves disciplined to do that. So we can start with something small, right? Creating a list, let's just say that we write down on a piece of paper the steps that we know we need to take in order to get to whatever the goal is, the dream is, or to move forward. What is the goal that we have in mind when we're trying to move forward with something? And the Knight of Pentacles is about taking that time to think about things very carefully. What steps do I need to take? How am I going to get there? And we can take those baby steps every single day, or, whatever it means, once a week, in order for us to get to that goal. The important part is keeping ourselves focused on what it is, You know, it's not always easy to kind of maintain the intensity of the passion that we have for something. Okay. The motivation, the drive to do something. Sometimes we do need to take a break. Okay. In order for us to kind of get that fire going again. So kind of like I was saying, honor the time that you have, okay, with the pauses. Some of you, it may simply be changing perspectives. Some of you, it's going to be a need for you to kind of honor that darkness, the not knowing everything and being okay with it. Being comfortable, right? Like the shaman energy here is getting comfortable and getting to know that darkness, understanding it. What is it teaching me? Okay. What am I seeing in the dark? What needs to be illuminated? This is you fully taking time to really understand yourself, getting to know the self. And for some of you, this can be building up your self-esteem. This can be building up your confidence. This could be you taking the initiative, taking the lead, stepping up into that King of Wands energy, being the leader. Meaning that we're not waiting, right, for something to happen for us in order to get ahead. Like we are taking the initiative. We're taking that first step. We're taking that leap of faith. You know, we also have the Four of Wands here, which does have to do with stability. It has to do with, you know, our foundation as well, our environment. So this could also be like if you, it makes me think of like living situation for some of you. What is the environment that you have yourself in? What is your living situation like? Is it noisy, right? Again, this might be having some quiet time for yourself so that you are able to focus on what the goals are. Some of you might be needing to kind of have some boundaries, okay? With people that are kind of approaching you with like, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you do this? Can you do that? Learn to also, I feel like, find balance in your life as well, because we do have Justice here, which is about balance. So this can be making sure that you also have time for you, okay? Especially if you've got, you know, career going, family going. Make sure that you have time for yourself to nurture yourself and your ideas and your plans and your goals and your dreams to create a healthy balance in your life. Okay. Sometimes if we're working too much and we have no time for self, we feel unhappy, we feel unfulfilled, and we feel like we don't have the time to be able to work towards the things that we really want to work towards. So there's always good to have a good balance in your life as well. And sometimes we need to take a step back to say, okay, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to release so that I have more time and energy to focus on the things that I really desire here? So let's take a look at some oracle here. What needs changing? We have soar, observation, we have luck, and scavenge. So we have observe, so with the scavenge here, this makes me feel like Spirit's asking you, okay, with what needs changing in order for you to move forward, for you to take some time to think about the things that you are putting your time and energy towards in your life. Okay? Are they giving back to you? Do you feel like the things that you're putting your time and energy into are a source of nourishment for you? Do you feel unfulfilled, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever it might be? We have observation here, and I feel like it is important for you to take that time to observe, and that is also something that we can do, right, in the Hermit and the Hangman energy, where we just kind of take a step back. from something so that we can observe it. What is it that we're creating right now? Are we happy with it? Do we feel like it's meeting our needs? Because if not, this can also be observing with the solar energy here. And when I put this card down, I was hearing flight plan. So I kind of feel that with this, what is your goal? What is the motivating force with that, for whatever that goal is that you have, or whatever this is that you're working towards and trying to move forward with? What is the vision right now? Because this is also time for you to see with where you're putting your time and energy, is it working for you? Is there a better way that we can look at and approach this situation that you're being faced with in order to help us to move forward? You know, sometimes it does, it's helpful, not all the time, but sometimes it's helpful with having another person perspective. Because the Four of Wands can also talk about family and, you know, other people that we have close to us. So sometimes this could even be you asking someone, what is your perspective on this? Or what do you think about this? Because sometimes people are able to see things that we don't, you know, or a different way of looking at something. And then when they tell you what that is, that might even be something that kind of you're like, oh my goodness, why didn't I think of that? Or it might kind of start this whole process of you having a whole epiphany or realization or light bulb moment all by yourself, right? That insight and enlightenment there, where you're able to see something and know exactly what you need to do in order for you to move forward. And also with the luck energy here, there's a bird, and there's all these fish that are kind of falling down out of the sky, and he's got his beak wide open to catch one of them. This almost gives me this impression too, that you are being open to seeing things from other perspectives. And sometimes we have just like one way of looking at something, and sometimes, like I said, it's helpful for us to just kind of take a step back, walk away from something, take the pause, do some deep reflection where we will, in that darkness and in that stillness, receive exactly what we need in order to help us to move forward, in order for us to, you know, have and embark, maybe say, on that new beginning or that new way of doing something that's going to lead us towards the results that we want here. Okay. All right. So that is all that I have for you, group number 2. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next week. Hi, group 3. So those of you that resonated with the offering card and the Bloodstone, this is going to be your reading today. And I think I'm going to start off your reading with the message with the offering, to kind of set the tone for your reading today. So we're asking Spirit, what needs changing in order to move forward more easily? Okay. So let's start off with this, and this is actually from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and this is 64. So let's see, 64. Okay, so our question, what needs changing in order to move forward more easily? You have the offering. It says the gift, the present, the sacrifice. It says, unlike many of the other cards in the deck, the offering carries a clear as day message and a call to action. As you may have guessed, it is time for something to be given and given up for the sake of the bigger picture. If nothing comes to mind immediately, though it's likely it will, take time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. It's likely you'll feel attachment and hesitancy. You'll make excuses, but recognize the link between the word sacrifice and the word sacred. One leads to the other. When we offer up something to the greater good, we lighten our load and become more able to serve. Imagine for a moment if you were to offer your whole self unconditionally to the world. For now, start small. So, what needs changing in order to move forward more easily? This is Spirit basically saying there's something that you have to release, something you have to sacrifice by letting go or offering or giving away, right? Giving up. So it says if nothing comes to your mind immediately, though it's likely it will, some of you might know exactly what it is right now. This is where you have to take some time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. So let's get a little bit more with your tarot and see what this is. What are you giving up? What are you giving away? What are you releasing and letting go of in order for you to move forward? Okay. Something must be released. Group 3. One more shuffle. Okay, group 3. Let's see. What needs changing in order to move forward more easily? We've got the 6 of Wands. Ace of Cups. Knight of Swords in reverse. Ace of Pentacles. What needs changing in order to move forward more easily? Queen of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Some of you, the change and the moving forward that you're wanting to do, I don't think this is for everyone, but some of you are wanting more in terms of career, money, finances, and you might quite literally need to change your job. Okay? You might literally need to change your job. Some of you, that might even be your career path, especially if you have a feeling that this is not in alignment for me, this is not what I want, and to follow your heart instead. Because the Six of Pentacles is about reciprocity, receiving. And this has to be balanced, both the giving and the receiving, right? So if you're offering something and releasing something that is not in alignment for you anymore, this gives you the opportunity to receive new. You've got two aces here, which are about new beginnings, new opportunities. So if you're offering something up, giving something away, making a sacrifice, you're doing this so that you can put yourself in a position to receive. That's the balance. What needs changing in order to move forward, right? Because you started off with the Six of Wands. Some of you might quite literally be at a job where your boss does not see you. You are not receiving the recognition, the validation, the appreciation. I mean, some of you, this might even be a relationship, a person. that is not giving you what you need. A person that's not appreciating you. I'm also feeling, because the Six of Wands does have to do with validation, appreciation, recognition. And sometimes this is a need for us to changing away from feeling that we need to seek validation outside of ourselves, of our worthiness to receive. So that can also be something that you give away, right? And release and let go, is the need for validation, is the need for recognition from someone of your worthiness to abundance or to love. This could be you releasing a relationship, a job, or anything else in your life that is not meeting your needs. And in order for us to move forward, we have to change away from those things, people, situations that are not giving back in a way, okay? I would also say, because this can go completely opposite too, because the Six of Pentacles does have to do with giving and receiving, if you are someone who is always receiving from others, perhaps this is a time to make a sacrifice and to also be that person who is giving something instead of just taking or receiving, that you create more of a balance by, you know, giving something this time versus receiving. What needs changing in order to move forward more easily? The King of Pentacles. Yeah, some of you, I do feel like it could be a relationship. I'm also getting career, job here. Love life and career. Let's pull one more. Page of Pentacles. That's funny because I saw it at the bottom and I knew I should have took it to put it out here, and Spirit brought it out anyways. Okay. Well, we've got the Knight of Swords in reverse and also the Four of Swords in reverse. I think I'm going to sit with this for a second. I feel like this has to do with I don't know if this is like hesitating here or something that's holding back some kind of action here with that Knight of Swords in reverse. I feel like that would be something you would want to get rid of or to release with that Knight of Swords in reverse, because the Knight of Swords is about focus. It's about being brave and courageous and taking action, swift action. And I feel like with the Knight of Swords energy in reverse, I mean, this could be a person that you're dealing with, or it might be something going on with you where there is a lot of thinking about, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but there's no action. Okay? So I'm even feeling that I might even go into clarifying the offering, so it is a little bit more clear that this is Spirit saying you've got to, something's got to go. We've got to sacrifice something or let something go in order for us to receive, because there will always be that balance there, right? There should be that balance of giving and receiving. Okay, so I want to say, because I noticed when I was just sitting here, that this Ace of Wands is in reverse. Another ace. When the Ace of Wands is in reverse, this is when there has been some type of creative spark, some type of divine inspiration that we've lost it, basically. Something has fizzled out. Maybe it's motivation for doing something. Maybe it's an idea that we had and we felt like, oh my goodness, like I really want to do this. Like I said with that Knight of Swords in reverse, it kind of feels like when we are, there's a hesitation there. It's like we think, I want to do this, I want to do that, but we're not putting forth the energy. We're not being confident or brave or, releasing fear, because the Four of Swords in reverse is when the mind is not in the most grounded place. It's a little bit unstable, or a lot unstable, which means that we might not have the most clear mental space in order to focus. The Four of Swords is a card of rest, of stillness, of peace of mind, quiet, so that we're able to focus on what we need to do in order to get it done. Now, like I said, some of you, this might have to do with relationship situations, where let's just say if you're dealing with a person who is not taking action, is like, let's just say it's a relationship that's not progressing and moving forward, and you're like, what can I do? What can I change? Well, the first thing I feel like what the reality of for some of you might be is that in order for you to receive love and appreciation and admiration that you are deserving of, might be that we have to let that person go who is not giving that to us, instead of holding on to that person who is not reciprocating our energy, and we're always giving and giving and giving, that we have to be in a place where we are receiving. Okay, so you could be perhaps giving away, in a sense, the attachment or the pursuit of that thing, maybe in the current situation that you're in. Some of you, like I said, this could be tied into a work environment where you're like, I want more money, I want to level up in my career, and my boss does not see me. So in this case, the offering, the sacrifice would be, I'm going to let this position go. I'm going to let this job go, and I am going to take action towards accepting a new offer somewhere else. Perhaps it's love from someone else, instead of limiting ourselves to a specific person or situation or work environment. I would also say that one thing that needs changing is when you do receive divine inspiration, an idea, an opportunity, that you, and of course we always want to make sure, okay, does this opportunity, fit what I'm trying to achieve here? Because not all opportunities that come towards us are going to be ones that are the best for us. Sometimes they're ones that just kind of lead us down a path we don't want to be on. But I will say that if there is an opportunity that comes towards you, and the thing that is blocking you or holding you back is fear-based in some way, that's a blockage, right? That would be a blockage. That would be a need for us to change the way in which we take action. Like if we do receive an idea, let's just say, that says, okay, well, if you move towards this idea, this is going to be the solution to your problem. This is going to be the thing that helps you to receive what you need in order for you to move forward. But then we think on it and hesitate and procrastinate and don't take action, nothing changes, right? Nothing happens. We stay in exactly that same position. I like to describe the Knight of Swords in reverse as a car, okay? A race car that is at the green light that is supposed to be going, right, on to go on the race, and the back wheels are spinning on the car, and the car's not going anywhere. And that's the way that I think about the Knight of Swords in reverse. Is like there's the thinking, right? The mind is going, the mind is racing. I want to do this, I want to do that. What's this idea, that idea, but we're not going anywhere, right? So this requires us to be brave, to be courageous, to I would say another thing here too, because the Knight of Swords can sometimes be very impulsive and reckless, meaning that sometimes we might rush into things. So that the way in which we make decisions, maybe for some of you, there's a need for slowing down and being more intentional and more purposeful in your actions, or even in your words and the way that you communicate with self or others. Can also be something there as well. Okay. Especially when it relates to the work environment or to love life or to anything else there as well. Because yes, the Knight of Swords can be impulsive, reckless, impulsively kind of just jumping into things and doing things without a plan, and not thinking about consequences of our actions, things of that nature. They can certainly lead us into situations that, again, we don't want to be in. So let's clarify the offering here, because this is Spirit saying here, there's something to be given away in a sense, maybe energetically. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you're giving something to someone, but perhaps we are releasing and giving away something energetically speaking. Okay. What is this offering here for pile 3, Spirit? What is the offering? Six of Swords. This is moving on from something, moving away from something, detaching from something. What is this offering? It might even be moving for some of you. The Tower. The Tower is about release. Something being broken down. An illusion, an old structure, whatever that structure is. Could be anything. King of Swords. Okay. The King of Swords is about logic, power, authority. It is I almost feel, because the King of Swords is when we are the master in terms of our way of thinking, our way of problem solving, our way of taking decisive action. The King of Swords is also about focusing on facts, truth, and reality of something. So what is the truth of what your situation is that you're coming to this reading for today? What is the reality? What's the truth of it? Because the Tower is something that can be something that is unstable, something that is chaotic, something that is kind of like a faulty foundation, meaning that the belief that we hold or carry about this foundation may not be something that is in alignment for you. We could sometimes be trying to hold on to a certain vision, a certain dream, a certain goal, and we're like, I want to move forward with this. I want to move forward with this. And Spirit's like, no, this is not for you. So this can quite literally be, with the Tower energy, is divine intervention, okay? Divine intervention. So you have to let something go here. There's a sacrifice that has to be made. There's a need for seeing truth or facts about it. And the tower helps to break something down that's either not meant to be for us, no longer in alignment, never meant to be for us in the first place. Sometimes we can have an illusion like, ooh, this is for me. This is perfect. This is amazing. And then the universe just kind of rips the rug out from under us and saying, no, it's not. It's not. And sometimes the tower energy can be super challenging, uncomfortable, chaotic. It can cause turmoil, upheaval in our life, flip our world upside down. And we're just like, what happened? Like, I was trying to build this foundation, or I built this foundation. Why is the universe taking it away from me? Because it's not meant to be. It's not for us. Okay? The tower can give us a rude awakening, a wake-up call, an epiphany, a realization. Now that could be, again, I mean, this could really be anything in your life. Like this card was saying, you might know exactly what it is. And sometimes that truth is not easy for us to look at. But the King of Swords is very direct, straight out. It is what it is. And that's it. This is about us focusing on facts, truth, reality. Sometimes it's harsh truth. Like I said, it could be about anything. The energies that I'm seeing coming through here look like they have to do with love life, career, maybe. The job that you're at. Maybe it's a career path that is no longer a fit for you. Perhaps it's a relationship situation, you know. I want to get a little bit more. I kind of feel like there's more to kind of uncover with this. Why is the offering here, Spirit? The Four of Swords. Now it's in the upright. The Four of Swords is a very calm energy. Calm, still, peaceful. It's also about meditation, which is basically for some of you where Spirit is saying with that offering card there, that if we don't know immediately what this is that we have to let go of, that some of you might need to meditate on it. Because the meditation could bring you that tower energy where you do have the epiphany, the realization, the light bulb moment about something that you need to move on from or move away from. Why is the offering here? So something right now, there's the Ace of Swords. I mean, all of this is about truth. It's about a breakthrough. It's about clarity. It's about the epiphany, the aha moment, the light bulb moment. Truth. The truth about something or someone or a situation. We've got to let it go, whatever that is, because this is a general reading. But can't we know some more? I feel like it's just kind of like leaving it out there. Kind of cryptic message. Why is the offering here, Spirit? Can we know a little bit more? I don't know that. Spirit's going to tell me. Okay, so we've got the Two of Swords, which again, I feel like the Two of Swords energy is a need for balancing the mind. Balancing the mind. And maybe that is it for you. What needs changing is keeping your mind in a more balanced state. Because if the mind is not balanced, right? If we're dealing with mental health issues, and we've got a lot of stress going on in our life, we can't think straight. We can't function, right? We're not going to be able to think clearly to make decisions. And maybe that's even why a person could be making impulsive decisions, because their mind is not in a balanced state, right? We don't feel mentally calm and rational and still. Some of you might need to focus on healing. Okay? Your heart space could be something that's trying to get your attention. Like, hello, I need healing here. That's why we're not able to think clearly. That's why we can't move forward. We've got to pay attention to what's going on in the heart space or what's going on within the mind. Let's stop for a moment and focus on self so that we can move forward and change. So this could even be going into self-care, making sure that you get rest, making sure that your mind is calm, grounded, peaceful. You know, if we're in an environment, in a situation, in a relationship, and we feel on edge, how can we function like that? You know, that can certainly lead us to being that Knight of Swords in reverse, so we can't even think and function straight. So we're just like, okay, well, I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do this. Because we feel like our, you know, and the Six of Swords energy too is about moving away from chaos, moving away from that tower. If something is causing chaos in our life and turbulence and upheaval, why are we still holding on to it? The tower is trying to shake you, right? To shake you, to release, to let go. By ripping the rug from under us, by giving us that realization or that epiphany that we need to see to face the truth and the facts and to see something that we have to let go of. Okay? And perhaps this is going to be something that helps you to reclaim your power, to feel more grounded. I want to see why this Knight of Swords is in reverse. Three of Wands in reverse. The Two of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is here again. So the Eight of Wands is action. The Two of Wands is about planning, making a plan of action here. And the Three of Wands energy in reverse is that the plan that we have, I almost kind of feel like some of you could be making decisions that are not very well thinking about how, and sometimes it's impossible for us to know exactly how something is going to play out. You know? Like we decide to do something and say, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and crossing my fingers, everything works out. With the Three of Wands in reverse, this has to do with future planning, foresight, thinking ahead, planning ahead. So some of you could be needing to change the way in which you make decisions. If you're someone who kind of doesn't plan very well in terms of say like future, like perhaps this is okay, well, I'm going to do this right now because this is good for now. But it's not really helping you to get to where you want to be. You know? It might be the good for now, hurry up and let's get into this decision or whatever this is, but it doesn't really give you the long-term results and success and happiness and fulfillment that you really want. So that could be maybe impulsively moving into things without a clear plan of action, of direction. Oftentimes the Three of Wands energy in reverse can be when we do have a plan, but there's no future in that plan. It could be when we need to take some time to rethink something about the plan that we have. Perhaps it's something where Spirit is saying that we need to think about the long term versus the short term to make sure that it is something that's in alignment for us. So let's just say it's a relationship and you're like, okay, well, this person does not see me. This person does not value. This person does not appreciate me. But yet we're holding on to them because it's good for now. Right? Maybe there's no future with that person because that person is not showing us that they're putting forth the effort to move things forward. Or it's the boss who doesn't give you the promotions, doesn't give you the raises, and you're like, okay, well, it's good for now. And I know that there's no real future here, but so in order for us to move forward, in order for us to receive, right, in order for us to change and move forward, we've got to face the truth and the reality of something, okay? It's going to be, I don't know what it is, but we've got to release and let go and face the facts, face the truth of something that may not necessarily be in alignment, where Spirit is seeing something that we don't. We might not understand and we can get super frustrated, like, why does this keep happening to me? Or why am I going through this? And why does everything keep falling apart? It's because with the Tower energy, the universe tries to get us redirected towards where we're meant to be. And sometimes that includes creating upheaval in our life in some way or another because we've ignored it. Sometimes there could be sign after sign after sign and, do this, do that, where the universe is kind of like trying to guide us in all these different directions and we don't take action on anything there. So the universe is like, you know what, pile 3, here goes the Tower energy. And hopefully that pile 3 sees it this time. Let it go, release it, right? The job, the relationship, so this is the Three of Wands is a need for us to rethink something. Are we acting impulsively? Are we rushing into something? Or is it quite the opposite, again, where we are that race car at the green light where those back wheels are spinning, but we're not going anywhere, which in a way it's like thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but we're not actually doing it. That would mean that we need, with the Three of Wands in reverse, that would mean that we want to take that first step. We've got the plan. Here's the action. Take the first step, right, towards that so that we can receive, so that we can move forward. Okay? Because the Eight of Pentacles is about hard work. It's about dedication. It's about commitment. And sometimes we need to commit ourselves to a plan. We need to commit ourselves to we need to commit ourselves, right? Commit ourselves to something that we're trying to work towards here. We have to put in the effort. We have to understand that if we wish to receive results, we've got to put in the time. We've got to put in the energy. If this involves you with someone else and you're the person who's giving and giving and giving and you're receiving nothing in return, that would be the thing that we want to let go of so that you can move away from giving all your time and energy to someone who's not giving back to you, to put yourself in a situation to move forward in your career or in your love life or any other area of your life to receive. Okay? So let's pull some oracle here. What needs changing in order to move forward more easily? Release. Okay, so something. We're releasing something here. Distractions. What's distracting you, pile 3? Someone who's distracting you, a person, a situation, distracting you from your goal, your dream. Risk. Exposed. What is this risk here? I mean, some of you might quite literally need to be taking that leap of faith. Take the risk, right? Put yourself out there. But some of you, it may even be that something that you're trying to do where there's too much risk that's involved, where it may not lead you to what you really desire, and it could be providing a distraction for you. Almost kind of like that saying, all that glitters is not gold. Right? All that glitters is not gold. What is this risk here? The Chariot and the Three of Pentacles. You know, some of you, we've got this energy here of releasing, moving on, letting go. And then we also have this powerful movement forward. For some of you, this is rebuilding your life. Laying the groundwork for a solid foundation, which the Tower isn't solid. That's unstable energy, unstable foundation. The Chariot is about balancing two opposing forces of energy, and those opposing forces of energy can be within you. It could be you and another person. So for some of you, this might mean changing jobs, changing community, changing where you live. What is the distraction here? Queen of Wands and the Six of Wands in reverse. So I feel like what Spirit's saying here is that you could be putting forth and trying to continue to pursue and put all of your energy towards something or someone where you're not receiving the recognition that you deserve. You're not being valued, not being appreciated. Or, again, this could be a need, like I said at the very beginning, some of you might be needing to release the energy that's distracting you of, I need validation from this person or from this situation. Seeking validation outside of the self, seeking recognition, you know, because the Six of Wands is about success. It's about accomplishment, you accomplishing something. I feel like another important thing here to remind yourself of is those milestones. You know, sometimes we can achieve small goals and still take that time to celebrate how far we've come and to then set ourselves up for those next set of goals that might be a little bit bigger, right, for us to achieve. But it's important for you to look at how far you've come and to continue to hold that Queen of Wands energy within you, your power, your confidence to say, I have gone through all of this. I have come this far, because sometimes we forget how difficult that version of ourselves from 10 years ago really had it. And where you're at right now with what you're dealing with and what you're going through. This is about you being confident, being proud of yourself, and continuing to work towards what your desires are. And if you're at a job or you're in a relationship where you're not being valued, you know, it's important, yes, for us to not seek validation outside of ourselves, but we should also understand that whatever we choose to give our time and our energy to, not that we're expecting it, you know, but if we're finding that we're not being valued, why stay? Why stay there? Why continue to put that energy there? Okay. What is the release here? Five of Cups, which is grief, disappointment, discouragement. sadness, depression, you know, and of course it's not easy if you are dealing with depression. You know, we can't just snap our fingers and be over it and done with it. We're grieving. So it is important for us to honor those emotions that we do have. It can be very challenging to work through that energy. But we also have to understand that our emotional state, also mental state from what we're seeing here, is something that we need to pay attention to. It's something that we need to make a priority, okay? Especially if you are dealing with depression and mental health issues. We need to get ourself in order, right? To put ourself first. If you are dealing with a let's just say it's a situation, a person who's causing grief, who's causing pain in your life, especially if it's like a relationship situation or, you know, a family member situation, which I feel like with grief, it's kind of a little bit challenging, like I said, to deal with, because all of you could be in very different situations for the reasons why you feel grief. Sometimes we actually lose someone passes away, or, you know, we're dealing with that whole situation. And so we all kind of move through grief, the process of grief, in very different ways. We handle it in different ways. Some people are, you know, really kind of pull through in terms of resilience. And sometimes for others of us, it takes longer. You know, so perhaps those of you that could be dealing with some difficult things in life right now and are having that difficulty with, like, why do I feel so sad? I feel so depressed. I feel so, you know, anxious, and my mental health isn't doing so good. Take the time that you need. Take maybe the offerings in terms of sitting with a therapist, going to a healer, somebody that can help you to work through those things, okay? So that you are able to move past any type of mental or emotional blocks right now that are going to help you to move forward, okay? Even if they are tied into something of like a loss of a loved one, and we could be dealing with a lot of grief or even breakups, right? Your body doesn't know the difference between a person who passes away and going through a breakup. All it knows is, I'm in pain and this hurts. This is deep pain that I'm experiencing right now. Grief is grief, right? It's our pain, and it can be a lot for us to process and to deal with. So that could be something that needs to change, is the mental and emotional. Not to say that you have to hurry up and heal and hurry up and get over it, but this is taking the steps that you need to about putting yourself first. You know, sometimes we do go through a lot of challenging things in our life, a lot of painful things, and we keep muscling through it. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine, until it starts to really manifest even into the physical body, or it starts to present itself as illness, as autoimmune disorders, because all of this trapped energy has been in the body, and now it's starting to affect us physically, right? That's a huge thing that we need to pay attention to within the self, and that might be needing something that needs changing, is self-care, self-love, taking time to fill your own cup, releasing things energetically speaking, mentally, emotionally, needing to speak up, needing to share your story. That could be something that you release, right? All of that stuff that you've been holding on to that are creating those blockages for you mentally and emotionally, so that you can move forward, so that you can function in a balanced state of mind where your emotions feel calm and grounded and you feel tuned in and tapped in. You're able to balance that energy, and you're able to create a new foundation for yourself within your life. Okay? All right, so I'm going to leave this here for you, group 3. I do wish you all the best. I hope that this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one.